I now call the regularly scheduled meeting for the Natrona County Board of County Commissioners for Tuesday, December 21st, 2021 to order. Madam Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hendry,
Here.
Commissioner Kaufman,
Here.
Commissioner Milne,
Here.
Commissioner North,
Here.
Chairman Bertolio.
Here. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to,
Let's get a second to it, and then you can.
I'll second that then.
It's been moved by Commissioner Hendry, second by Commissioner North to approve the consent agenda. Are there any items on the agenda that anyone would like to have pulled off for further discussion? Commissioner North.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to pull off item J. I got to put my glasses on, sorry. That is for the Ingberg Miller engineering proposal for the 3 picnic shelters for further discussion.
Okay. At this point, then, the chair would entertain, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item J. If there's no objections, would ask for those in favor to approve all consent agenda items except item J.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Back to item J. Chair to entertain motion to approve item J, the Ingberg Miller Engineers proposal for surveying and engineering services for 3 picnic shelters at Bear Trap Campground, Casper Mountain, in the amount not to exceed $76,200.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Now discussion. Okay. Well,
That's what I was going to do too.
well, you can still do that.
I just want to make sure that we're doing it appropriately in the right order.
Just a quick point of order. If you want to have a little discussion and then table it so that the public may understand a little bit what's going on, and then we can table it.
That works. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Commissioner North.
I just, at this point in time, I just think that there's a few things in here that we need to look at and have a few more answers on before we vote on this, and so I would move that we table it until our next meeting.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so you're asking, is that a motion? If it's a motion, it's non-debatable, is that correct? If I get a second? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner North, second by Commissioner Milne to table the Ingrid Miller Engineers proposal until the next meeting, or?
Yeah, I can't remember what date that is. I think it's the 3rd, 4th?
Fourth.
Okay,
To
January
January 4th?
2022.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
Okay.
As the motion is non-debatable, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries, so we will bring this back to a work session for further discussion. All right. And I would just add that I think I share the concerns. but we have to get moving on this, so.
Yes.
That was
So-
my concern, Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman.
I don't want to drag this out any longer than is necessary. So with that, Chair would entertain a motion to remove from the table Resolution 38-21, approving 307 Horse Racing LLC to conduct pari-mutuel wagering on historic racing and simulcast events within Natrona County.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Hendry, second by Commissioner Milne, to remove from the table Resolution 38-21. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The chair would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 38-21, approving 307 Horse Racing LLC to
Mr.
conduct pari-mutuel racing.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to approve Resolution 38-21, approving 307 horse racing.
Okay?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Milne, second by Commissioner North, to approve Resolution 38-21. Any further discussion? Commissioner
Chairman.
North, or Commissioner Hendry.
Well, we were curious about how many establishments, I think the commission was, that we already have in town, and we got a pretty good explanation of that from our attorney today. So I think we're good to go.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Milne.
Yeah, to expand a little bit further with Commissioner Hendry's on that, it wasn't just the amount of establishments, but also how they occurred, how they were brought about in the county as well. Some of them I don't remember seeing until they just kind of popped up. And so that was, I think, that was for more of why we were concerned about and needed tape just to get a better grasp of what was going on.
Commissioner North, anything? All right, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. At this point, we've reached the part of our meeting where we'd accept public comments. And I would ask that you recognize that
I'll give you my
before we
name
get
and
your
address,
name and address,
okay?
that this is a public proceeding. We'd ask that you have a little dignity here and some civility before you get started, Mr. Grinch.
Well, I follow the rules pretty good, but you know, I represent some crazy wingnut that's knowing Tracy be bad, but he be Tracy be good sister here, okay? You know, she knows this on him, but I better give you my name and address. So I be Santa the Grinch, or Grinch the Santa. It took a little while, a little bit of coaching for the elevator to go to the top floor, but my last name is Family. I'll spell it, Family. So I have quite a large family. It's a complicated story, so don't shoot the messenger. But before I forget it, I need an escort across the street. Because being the one-eyed Jack is kind of tough. But I have an amplifier in here because my voice is about killed. But I appreciate my family welcoming me to the meeting because I've worn out my welcome in several hotels, 2 to be exact, and I'll be disappearing but for a while. The Grants respects everyone in this room. Before I give my address, the Grants would like to see that man become the county administrator. He runs the show. But we need to find a good attorney. We had one, but he decided to move back to working for the federal government. So Cindy Lou Who here, the imposter.
Again, Mr.
Let me
Lamont,
finish.
we'd ask that
She's a
you
good
be a little
gal.
more civil than you've been.
Okay, Miss Kaufman, which I thank the world of, but I'll stop right there. So I got to catch my breath. I can't hardly breathe in this thing. So my address is the center point, Natrona County. And I bet we didn't know that, but there's going to become a pretty hot spot. We can't be the center of the universe, but we darn sure are north to south. And somebody that's got a tape or whatever, nor a string to run from the South Pole to the North Pole can confirm this. But that would be Crimson Dawn, Wyoming. So just say I live at the center point, okay? But I'm rather confused here. I'm part Santa. The center line belt didn't quite fit, but you know, I'm part Grinch. So that takes me up to following up on a couple of things. Hold tight on the lodge, because the old Grinch and Santa is working pretty hard for a donation to pay for the whole thing. So I really appreciated you listening to Mr. Lamont. He really appreciates that on it. But hold tight on your decision on the shelters too as well. I get word back that there's some windfalls coming, and we don't need to spend any more of the county's money. But I'm not in charge of that department. All I need to do is thank you for putting up with Tracy John Lamont, the wingnut, okay, on him. So I'm a gentleman. I need somebody to escort me across the street so I don't trip. And I have some other business to take care of. I'm well protected with the family. Welcome to the family, everybody. It's a complicated story, but I don't want to ruin everybody's surprises. But there's no saying if you haven't been indicted, you're not invited. But this be the old timer. So, you know, leave April Fool's open. And if you're on the guest list, don't be offended if you're not. But everybody in this room will be on that guest list. And Mr. Lamont loves the all out of Pendleton Bowl. And you should too, Rob. So with that, I think I'm pretty well worked up if I forgot anything. But the Grant, he wants that kitchen because he can't cook, okay? I need a hideout up there. And we can't do that with the simple kitchen. That's catering to one group of people only. And all those gals need to enjoy their kids and not be bringing potluck dinner. Rob, you nailed it. Let's stub it out. Then we'll get it finished up. And I'm forever grateful for you. But, you know, if we're not there money-wise, let's do it and do it right. But let's get State Line 7 back in and working in the team with Brandon. They all work very, very hard. And tell the school district to go jump in a lake, okay? And you can send a message. I guess there's a new sheriff in town, and I'll leave it at that, okay? Behave, Dave. Okay, thank you.
All right, does somebody want to follow that?
Thank you. Kyle Ridgway with 307 Horse Racing. Just wanted to say thank you to the commissioners for working through us with this process. And obviously, we look forward to opening the location here in Casper. Look forward to working with you related to that location and potentially the one other one that we anticipate having at some point next year. And obviously, if there's questions that you all have or information we can provide about our locations or what's going on in the industry generally, we're happy to answer those questions and sit down and do whatever we can for you. So we appreciate you working with us and taking the time to look at this seriously and take our application seriously. So thank you.
All right, thank you. And thank you for all the help. You've provided a lot of answers for us. So.
Happy to.
All right. Anyone else? There being no one else, Commissioner Milne.
I actually have something tonight. this being the last meeting for the year, I want to thank everybody, all the Natrona County employees, Sheriff's Office, everybody that's worked and put in the efforts through the year. We really do appreciate it, and I'm sure all the other electeds, Tracy and everybody, Matt and everybody, they also appreciate your efforts. And I just want to recognize that, the last few years have been a little tough, a little different, but we really, really do. The county wouldn't function without you, obviously. I also do want to thank the employees that, not just with the sheriff's office, but those emergency employees that won't be able to have Christmas with their families or maybe celebrate New Year's because they're out working. The sheriffs, the police, the firemen, EMTs, everybody. As a community, we do support you, and I, again, would like to thank you for that. Short of that, I just have one other person to thank, and that would be Joe Manchin. And that would be it for me.
Commissioner Henry?
Yeah, that's good. And well said, even the last part. Yeah. But it didn't go away, it just blocked it until next year. And I really don't have anything except we're so dry here in the west, and last week we had a tornado that tore through the middle of the country, and man, we need to keep them in our thoughts. That was really a devastating deal. You see pictures of that. It really wrecked lives, let alone property. It was quite a deal. So anyway, hopefully they'll make it through Christmas and New Year's and have it better next year.
Thank you. Commissioner Milne, would you care to give the audience a summary of what actually happened out at the fairgrounds?
No, not really. No, the other day we had it's not like we haven't had enough wind or anything, but we had a pretty good unique wind occurrence out at the fairgrounds where a barn, a covered stall barn, was literally lifted straight up off of its hurricane connections with horses in the stalls. These are 12 by 12 stalls. It lifted it straight up, didn't hurt any of the horses, lifted it over a couple of vehicles, over horse trailers, over part of an RV, and then wrapped it around a power pole. None of the horses were hurt from that actually occurring. It was after they got a little skittish and started running around because, there wasn't a barn around them anymore all of a sudden. But it lifted it straight up. It didn't hurt the water lines around it, the hydrants, the power connections. There was a little gal out there, I don't remember what her name was. She was working with that barn at that time, watering some horses, and she said the barn went up and there were the horses looking at her. She was looking at them, and she ran for the truck. I don't blame her at all. But yeah, so we're looking at that, and then Tom Jones is talking to the insurance about getting the barn replaced, and we'll probably the smaller barn, it'll be moved around a little to resituate that area, but we'll have more facilities back in that area again.
Mr. Chairman, and it broke the iron pipe. It wasn't just sitting on the
Yeah,
ground.
it sheared the actual hurricane stays that they're concreted into the ground. It sheared through those and lifted it straight up. It didn't roll it, it lifted it up and carried it over those vehicles and trailers.
I think the only reason I wanted you to expound on that was there was some social media posts out there that said it was just sitting on the ground.
It was not just sitting on the
The
ground.
power of the wind around here is tornado and hurricane force at times, so, and that just goes to prove it.
And with it lifting like that, it was some type of cyclonic
Okay.
type that pulled it up, so.
Okay, well, thank you.
You bet.
Commissioner North.
I want to thank the Natrona County Republican Women for sponsoring the wreaths out at the veteran cemeteries this last week. You know, that's a humbling experience to go out there and see that many people show up and put wreaths on the grave sites and speak the names of the individuals that are there that gave the ultimate gift to us by giving their life so that we'd live in a free country. And I don't think we offer our condolences and our gratitude to our veterans nearly as often as we should because of what they have done for us. And that's something that I enjoy being a part of because that's just a minor way that we can give back to them. You know, this is the Christmas season where it's the spirit of what you do and not what you get out of it. And that's something that I think that we all need to remember during this season. And I want to just say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's after that. And I'll see y'all next year.
Commissioner Kaufman.
Yeah, so Commissioner Milne, thank you for that. I second your comments for staff and our elected. It's been a pleasure this year to serve, and we have been through a lot. Two quick things at the meeting earlier, I think it was last week, the Health Board voted to erect a temporary facility across the street from their current facility to be able to help handle some of the capacity for testing, vaccinations, treatments, that if you've been in that facility, you know that the doors are about to fall off, and we're in real tough shape with that. So that's exciting that that'll come online. And then also there is an open position on the Amico Reuse Joint Powers Board. If anyone is interested in that, you can find more information at natrona.net. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Milne and Commissioner North really kind of hit some of my thunder. The wreath was I've done this every year that I've been in town. It is a very humbling experience to go out there. The number of people that just show up is one thing, but there are still a lot of families that go out there and have traveled to go out there to lay a wreath. It was a miserable day, but you didn't even notice it. So, and I not only thank the Natrona County Republican Women, but all the volunteers across the country that do this in almost every veteran cemetery. Some people say that we shouldn't be doing this. To that organization, I say, bah humbug. I think there's nothing more special than going out there and showing those veterans our great appreciation for serving our country. So with that, everyone have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.